Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Corina, and today we are continuing our 25 Days of Budget series, and we're going to talk all about sinking funds. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so let's start with the basics. What in the world is a sinking fund? I know that was a huge question that I had when we started this journey and I started to hear about sinking funds, and I was really wondering what they were, what they meant, and how they differed from a regular bank account or savings account. So what a sinking fund is, it's something that you are putting money away for, and it's an event or series of events that happens every year. It can be at the same time or it can be at a different time, but you know that it happens regularly, but not monthly. So what you need a sinking fund for is something that's not a part of your monthly budget, but it's part of your expenses at some point throughout the year. Now, some examples of these are Christmas, and Christmas is probably the biggest example that Dave Ramsey uses for sure. So Christmas comes at the same time every single year, comes once a year, we know when it comes. So therefore it's not an emergency. It's not something that's going to strike us all of a sudden and we will have to pull from our emergency fund for. It's something, however, that does happen once a year and that we need a specific amount of money for, right? And obviously your Christmas budget can be large, it can be small, it can be simple. That's a whole different video unto itself. But the thing with a sinking fund is that you want to budget basically about how much you're going to spend on that event or series of events, or how much you're going to spend on each event within the year, and then you start to plan for it. So with Christmas, say you want to spend, your budget is $600 for all of Christmas, right? For gifts for everyone, for any outings you're going to do, for any supplies you need, wrapping paper, gift bags, etc. Everything that you want to spend for Christmas is about $600. So what you're going to want to do, depending on when you start your sinking fund, is you take the number of months that you have in the year left until that date, and you divide the amount that you want to save by that number. So say if you wanted to start in January and go until, say, October, because you want to give yourself a couple of months to shop or to get organized or to just not have to contribute to that sinking fund, you would again take the number that you have budgeted for Christmas, which is $600 we're saying, and divide it by the number of months you have. So from January to October, it's 10 months. So you put $60 per month into a fund or an envelope or a separate bank account for Christmas. Now, another thing to add about sinking funds is that we have a separate bank account that we can't actually go to the ATM and take money out of it. It's all online, and it's called Capital One 360, and that's what we use. And you can actually create many accounts there. You can label them, you can create savings goals there, and you can have it auto debited from your regular bank account, say however often you'd like. So say for Christmas, if you're planning on budgeting $50 a month to go into your sinking fund, you could do $50 at one time. You could do two different payments of $25 in a month, go to that sinking fund, or you could break it up however you like. So the one thing that you want to keep in mind is that your sinking funds, they need to be accessible so that you can actually use them when you need them, but you don't want them to be necessarily a part of your bank account that your regular debit card is attached to, because you don't want to be able to just expend that money whenever you, say, want to go to Starbucks an extra time in the month or something like that. So make sure that it's somewhere accessible, similar to your emergency fund. Make sure that it's accessible, but it's not super easy to get to, and it's not linked to your same bank account that your debit card would be linked to. So I know I get a lot of questions on sinking funds because I do share in our cash envelope videos what we are saving for in our sinking funds and all of that. So I thought I would go ahead and share with you guys some of our sinking funds from 2016. So I have a little list here. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. But the first one I have at the top is Christmas. The second is clothing. The next one is for our dog, Kiki, so any vet appointments that she has to go to, we like to put a small amount in there. She doesn't really ever have many issues, but just in case she does, obviously, we know that having a pet, part of owning a pet is being able to make sure that we have funds for her to go to the vet. The next is car registration and maintenance. And then wedding is the next one I have on there. Not our wedding, of course, but a friend, well, a really good friend of mine is getting married next year, so we're putting money away towards expenses for all of that. I am part of the bridal party, so those are going to be some expenses that we want to make sure that we are taking care of, because we know that's not going to be an emergency. It's something we can plan for. The last one I have on here is fancy dates, and what that means are anything that's like a seasonal thing, like we go to an apple orchard in the fall, we like to, go look at Christmas lights during this time of year, during the Christmas season, and so anything that we need like a little bit of extra money for, things like Valentine's Day or anniversary, we put a little money away into this date fund so that we can go on like a fancier date than our typical date night money would get us. And one that I forgot to add on here is medical expenses. So we do have co-pays and we do pay for prescriptions. So what we do is we just allocate a certain amount each month to go into a medical fund for our expenses that come up that are medical related. They're not the same every month, and at one time I might need to order all 3 of the medications that I take at one time, because I do take a few and they tend to run out around the same time. I don't know why that is, but when I order them, I know that's going to be, whatever the cost would be. So it's nice to have that and know that that money's in there and that we're contributing to it, so that I don't necessarily need it today, but when I do go to order or we do need to go to the doctor, we have money to pull from that fund. So that is an overview of sinking funds. I hope that's been helpful, and these should be a part of your budget. So once you have allocated, all of your needs, right, all of your expenses that are needs, and then your debt payments, and whichever baby step you're on, whether you're on baby step 1 or you're on baby step 2 and you're just creating snowflakes onto your debt, you want to add in some sinking funds. Now, again, you can contribute a large amount, you can contribute a small amount, but you want to make sure that none of the things that will happen throughout the course of the year that you can plan for will need to come from your emergency fund, because they're not emergencies. They're part of life that we can plan for. So I hope this has been helpful, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to like the video if you've enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe for more. I will see you tomorrow.